Hey, what's up? Sorry I haven't posted in a while. It's been about a week. I've been on vacation and I've been busy with the pond, which you guys saw. So in that time, my tanks inside my room, I haven't been paying close attention to them. Of course, they're being fed and things like that. But the Tropheus tank has taken a turn for the worst almost. I don't really know what's causing these issues, but I've lost 2 Tropheus within a week and a half time. So I was gone on vacation, and during that time I've had someone feeding them the same way I feed them and treating them with medication, because with Tropheus, my first concern is bloat, and they're highly susceptible to bloat through stress, through food, through whatever it is. They get it really easily. So I started treating with General Cure, which has metronidazole and praziquantel, which is for internal parasites, things like that, and that's how I've treated bloat in the past, and it's the #1 way. They've had 3 doses. The first dose yesterday I treated the food, which means I soaked it. While I was away, I couldn't do that, and I didn't want to make the person have to do that, and honestly, I didn't think about it. But yesterday I soaked the food. That way when they eat the food, they are getting the medications directly into their system. Even though when you treat the water, it goes through their system. It's just more of a direct way of doing it. So then, if it's not bloat, because all of them are eating. Like when I feed them, all of them are eating. Normally when there's bloat, you can see them kind of getting like lethargic and withering away in a sense. So the second thought is aggression. So I started out with 10, and the recommended number for Tropheus when you're getting them is to start out with 12 as a minimum for a colony. So I have 10, and I didn't think 2 more was going to make much of a difference, and it shouldn't really. 10 is a lot, but as you can see this guy over here, he's not looking too good in my opinion compared to the rest. The rest are very active, very full, very full-bodied, and very prominent, while he's in the back kind of being lethargic, not moving as much. Now he could be, or she could be, at the bottom of the pecking order, which is normal. However, with Tropheus, they're highly conspecific, which means they are very aggressive towards their own kind and fish similar to their colors. So I'm thinking that that I have a lot of males in this group, unfortunately, which means the males will more than likely kill each other, and as they're hitting sexual maturity, as we know, since a couple weeks ago, I was telling you guys they were having babies, and the mother, I'm afraid, spit the babies, or she was one of the few that passed away. And I did try to check one of the ones that passed away, if she still had the babies in her mouth, to see if I could hold them, but I think it was too late. So one of the best ways to mitigate aggression between African cichlids and cichlids in general is to rearrange the tank. So yesterday, when I got back from vacation, I rearranged the tank. As you can see, I took out the slate rocks, which are down there. I put in river stones. I changed the flow of the water. You don't hear it right now because it's quite loud, and I have it where it's aerating the tank, because sometimes medications can reduce the oxygen levels in the water. So I made sure that wasn't a factor. I also could think that the catfish that was in here, the catfish Synodontis decoris, which is now down in this tank underneath that rock by himself, could have been getting hungry because he wasn't getting enough food, because I was, I don't heavily feed this tank. They get, the right amount for them. But he always had a full belly, but he had a full belly yesterday, which means he could have been munching on the Tropheus when they're sleeping, because he is quite large, and he has ate other fish in the past. He's pretty old. I've had him for a long time. So I thought if it wasn't bloat, if it's not aggression, not catfish, I tried, of course, the water. That's a big factor in keeping tropical fish. And yesterday, the automatic water change went on, and then I tested the water for ammonia, and I tested again today, 0 ammonia. I did 2 tests because I thought I messed up one, and then I did the test strips. It's kind of dried out now, but that pink on the top is really bright right now, just because it's dried out. But if I get another test strip, and I would recommend the Tetra Easy strips, me and other aquarists rely on these a lot more than other test strips, like API test strips, just because they're, I think they're more accurate, and when you test them against like liquid test kits, you can kind of see the results. But you just gotta mess around with it and things like that. So as you can see, it's a light pink. Hopefully it can focus in on here. But it's the top little square that's like pink, and that's the amount of nitrates in the water, and it's not very high. Here you go. Compared to like what it can be. So if you look at here, and it's kind of good to have nitrates in the water, especially if plants, but if you can look at there, so it's in the safe zone. So I'm not concerned about water quality. So I need your guys' help. If you have Tropheus or have dealt with Tropheus, I'm doing everything I know and everything I can do to make sure that they're okay. My best bet is the aggression, and that like they're getting to sexual maturity, and typically with African cichlids, as they start to get to that age, they become very aggressive towards each other. Like my OB peacock fry, they have been living together, about 30 of them, very well for the past few months, but now they're getting bigger and they're becoming more and more aggressive because their personalities are coming out. And these guys, since they started breeding, they're very territorial now, and they're wanting to get the females, and I don't think there are a lot of females. So either the females are being harassed way too much because there's too many males, or the males are fighting against each other way too much, which also can be an issue. So the only way to tell if they're male or female, one is the colors, but they're too small to tell who's a male and female, just with their colors, and even when they're adults, Tropheus are very hard to sex. And venting, but I can't vent them because they're also too young and too small. Venting is a way of looking at the bottom of the fish to see whether it's a male or female, and if it's not bloat, aggression, or water, I don't know what else it could be. The water change system has been going on for a few months now, so that shouldn't be an issue. Bloat, I don't know why it would come up all of a sudden. It's not like I changed, it's not like I fed them more, and feeding them less wouldn't have hurt them. So it's not like I gave them a whole bunch of food, which normally causes bloat because it, you know, blocks their digestive system and things like that. I haven't changed their food. I've keep giving them veggie pellets and veggie flakes, things like that. So I'm really thinking it's towards the aggression side, because now that the water flow, I turned it down because I have it facing the wall instead of them constantly swimming against it. I see them fighting a lot more, so, which is okay, you know, it's to be expected. Or it was the female when she was holding, because when a female holds, especially for the first time, it's very hard on them because they don't really eat, and they try not to eat, but I saw her eating with the eggs in her mouth, and it can make them very weak if they go for a long time without eating. But I didn't want to stress her out and put her in a net box or anything like that, especially when it was her first time holding. So I don't know what it could have been. But if you guys have any tips or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. I've tried everything. It's not like this is my first time with African cichlids, but this is my first time with a Tropheus colony that I've had for this long. And these are one of my favorite fish, and I care for them a lot. But this is one of the first times I've had like a successful Tropheus colony go for a long time. Not that I've like tried it many times. I've only tried one time, like a full colony, but it was from like a bad source, and they were already sick from the beginning, and I didn't treat them like I know to treat them now when you first get them. The only other times was when I was younger, I would buy one or two, and then they would fight because they're highly conspecific, and I didn't know at the time, and you know, I was learning. But yeah, if you guys have any tips, please let me know. I would love them or appreciate anything. I just think it's a male aggression thing or female thing, because as you can see, this one in the back is just hiding, he's subdominant clearly, or she, but the ones that are up here are very bright and colorful. I would pull the light closer. Let me see if I step back a bit, that they'll swim away, but they're bright and colorful, which normally means male. So that they might be fighting for dominance. So hopefully it'll even itself out if I can pick out males and then leave them with females. You know, I want more females to male ratio, but we will see. I don't want to go on too much, but yeah, plan to see more videos in the future. I've had issues with the red devil now, and I think he might be going in the pond, and I'm still deciding on what pond fish to put in there and that I want to see. So also leave suggestions for that. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys later, and bye.